Boys and girls, welcome back to Read Aloud 3 and Science Time with Mrs. Johnston. Today's lesson, we are going to learn about the life cycle of a plant. Let's do a quick review. Looking at the picture of our sunflower, can you identify each part of the plant in the image? Did you say roots? Maybe your response was stem, or maybe you said leaves. The flower or blossom and the seeds, those are all parts of the plant in the image. Each part of the plant does something important. The roots keep a plant in the ground and take in water and nutrients for the plant. The stem supports the plant and moves water and nutrients to the rest of the plant. The plant makes its own food in its leaves through a process called photosynthesis. So each plant part is important for the survival of the plant. The roots keep the plant in the ground and take the water and nutrients in. The stem holds the plant up tall and carries water and nutrients to the other parts. The leaves are where the plant makes food for itself. So let's see if you can answer my questions. Does the stem or the roots keep a plant in the ground? Did you say roots? If you did, you listen to yesterday's story and the review today. Does the stem or leaves hold the plant up tall? Did you say that the stem is what holds the plant up tall? Are the leaves or the roots the part where the plant makes food for itself? Did you tell me the leaves? If you did, you were right. The leaves are the part where the plant makes food for itself. Today's main idea of the lesson today is life cycle of a plant. When a plant first starts to grow, it does not have all of the parts that you have already learned about. Listen to find out more about how the plant grows and changes during its life. You have already learned about the different parts of a plant. One of those parts is the seeds. Where can you find the seeds on a plant? Did you say that the seeds are found in the center of the flower? If you did, great job. Many plants begin with a seed. Seeds come in all shapes and sizes. And as you might guess, the seeds from different plants look different. Each seed is a plant waiting to sprout or grow. If the seed is planted in the right place, then the seed will sprout and grow into a new plant. Only a sunflower plant can grow from a sunflower seed. and only an apple tree can grow from an apple seed. So, what type of plant do you think would grow if you planted a watermelon seed? Did you say a watermelon? If you said a watermelon, good job. How about a pumpkin seed? Did you say a pumpkin? If you did, you've been listening and paying attention. A pumpkin will grow from a pumpkin seed. Seeds are the beginning of new plants. Like all living things, plants live according to a life cycle. A life cycle includes the stages and changes that happen in living things. The life cycle of a plant starts with a seed. Most seeds have nutrients inside them that feed the new plants for just a little while. In order to germinate or begin growing into new plants, seeds must have water, light from the sun, and nutrients from the soil. When a plant first starts to grow from a seed, it looks very different from a fully grown or mature plant. Baby plants are called seedlings. This image shows a plant's growth from germination to seedling. The very first picture shows a newly germinated seed that is just beginning to sprout. Germination begins when the seed gets just the right amount of light from the sun, water, and nutrients. This causes the seed to open and the seedling to poke up through the soil. If you look very carefully at this first picture, you can see that the new plant is just starting to grow its first root. The next picture shows the same plant over several days. As the plant grows, you can see thin roots branching off deeper into the soil. The roots absorb the water and nutrients and push them up through the plant's stem, which grows above ground. It takes time for a seedling to grow into a full grown adult plant. The amount of time it takes depends on the type of plant. If you plant a sunflower seed, it will take about a month before the seedling begins to look more like a full-grown sunflower plant. If you plant an apple seed, it will take several years for the seedling to grow into a full-grown tree. When the plant dies, it decays and breaks down into little pieces and goes back into the ground to become nutrients in the soil. A new life cycle of a plant begins. Now, let's explore the life cycle of this oak tree. This acorn contains the seed of an oak tree. You may have seen acorns before on the ground, outside, next to full-grown trees. or being carried away by squirrels. Squirrels spend all day running around looking for food and hiding food. They bury so many acorns, they often forget where they put some of them. The acorn the squirrel forgets stays in the soil, giving the oak seed inside a better chance to germinate underground. So, what does germinate mean? Did you say or remember that germinate means to begin growing into new plants? Once the seed sprouts, it will quickly grow into a seedling, but the young tree will only grow a foot or two in its first year. After a few years, the oak will grow to a height of 10 or more feet, but it is still considered a young tree or sapling. This tree will still be called a sapling for several years to come. Oak trees take a long time to mature or grow into an adult or full grown tree. In fact, it takes about 50 years for the average oak tree to mature so it can produce acorns. An oak tree can produce tens of thousands of acorns over the course of its lifetime. Only a few of those acorns will germinate and grow into new oak trees. Some oak trees can live for over 200 years. Eventually, like all living things, the oak tree will die. The oak tree will die slowly over the course of several years. It will produce fewer and fewer leaves each year. Its branches will drop off one by one, and gradually its wood will become softer and softer. Finally, the roots will die and the tree will fall down with a big crash on the forest floor. The tree's branches will be the first to rot and disappear into the soil, but the woody trunk will take many years to completely decay. All of the nutrients in the wood will decay and become part of the soil once again. The more decayed plants there are in the soil, the more nutrients in the soil will have. And the more nutrients there are, the easier it will be for new seeds, like the acorn seeds, to germinate and grow. As we have seen, all plants live according to a life cycle. This diagram shows the life cycle of the sunflower. A new plant begins when the sunflower seed germinates and sprouts to become a seedling. If the seedling receives the right amount of water, nutrients, and light, then the plant will continue to grow. Eventually, the plant will become mature and make more seeds for which new plants will grow. When the sunflower dies and decays, it becomes the nutrients in the soil so that the seeds can germinate and grow into new plants, and a new life cycle of a plant begins. So let's see if you were listening to our story. What things does a seed need to germinate? Did you say a seed needs water, warmth from the sun, and nutrients to germinate? If you did, you were listening for details. A plant's life cycle begins with what part of the plant? Did you say that a plant's life cycle begins with the seed? Great job. What parts of a plant does a seedling have? Did you say a seedling has roots, a stem, and leaves? So, what is a seedling? Did you say that a seedling is a young plant? I want you to turn to whoever is helping you, mom, dad, brother, sister, babysitter, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, and I want you to explain to them the life cycle of a plant. And you can use my picture to help you. Did you say first the seed germinates and sprouts into a seedling? Next, the seedling continues to grow until it is an adult plant. Then the adult plant will make more seeds from which new plants will grow. Finally, the plant will decay and turn into nutrients in the soil. If you did, you remembered the life cycle of a plant. So I want you, with your partner again, to compare, which means how are they similar? How are they different? Compare the life cycle of a plant to the life cycle of a human. Did you say that they are similar because both plants and humans start off small and grow to be big? And that we start out alive and humans too also die? Did you say that they were different because plants grow from a seed where humans do not grow from a seed? I hope you enjoyed our story today, listening and learning about the life cycle of a plant.